guys, welcome to Bastion Time. I am your host Bastion. This is speculation time. Basically, two pieces of interesting information occurred recently, and I didn't really give the first one much notice because basically one piece of speculation doesn't mean much. My dog is being weird over there, I'm just keeping an eye on him. Anyways, so the first piece of information came out and I didn't care much about it because what's one piece of rumor doesn't mean much. Then a second thing happened and it was like, well, wait a minute. Can this thing be connected to that other thing? And if so, holy moly, we might have something interesting to talk about for once. So basically that first piece of speculation was there was some sort of podcast or something and a reputable gaming source, I don't quite remember who it was because again I didn't pay it much heed, but they were talking in a podcast or a video or something about how when is the next Zelda game going to happen, and he said, well, I can't really talk about it right now, but when we turn off the cameras I'll tell you a little bit more, but basically it's sooner than you think. So basically this guy is implying he has some sort of inside information, and that while Zelda games typically take like 4 years to make, this time it's going to be a whole heck of a lot sooner. And at first when I heard that, my first thought was, oh, Nintendo's going to pull a Majora's Mask. They're going to take the exact same graphics and engine and everything from Breath of the Wild and just make another game using all of those same assets, which in my opinion would be totally fine. I would love to play another game, explore a brand new landscape. Frankly, they could just call Breath of the Wild 2 and just let me explore a brand new Hyrule and I would be perfectly happy. Even if everything else about it was exactly the same, if it was just a remix, I would pay maybe even full price for that, for goodness sake. I would love to explore, new areas, find a tower, open up a new map, find all the shrines all over again. I would love to basically experience Breath of the Wild from scratch all over again. But I don't think that's what this is, because then the next thing that happened was there was some sort of Nintendo concert live in Japan, and Eiji Aonuma, the producer behind the Zelda series these days, said something like, hey, I bet y'all are hoping for Skyward Sword to come out for the Switch, right? And the audience cheers, and then he doesn't say anything. It's like, what the heck was that about? Is he just gauging their interest in this, or is there something happening? So my guess is, of course Skyward Sword HD is a thing that's going to happen. I mean, they've already done Wind Waker HD, Twilight Princess HD, they've kind of done an HD-ish Ocarina of Time for a 3DS and Majora's Mask for 3DS, so the next logical step is Skyward Sword HD. So I think that's what we're going to get, and I've been reading a lot of bizarre comments. I just expect Zelda fans to be smarter for some reason. I don't know why. I think it's because the Zelda games have so much puzzle solving and such, but I just expect them to be smarter, but they always disappoint me in the comments section of things. Somebody was like, well, I'd be all for it if that meant that they did away with the motion controls. And it's like, what? They can't do away with the motion controls. The motion controls, that's intrinsic to the game. You have to be able to swing the sword. So many puzzles and enemies and everything. It's like part of the recipe of Skyward Sword is that you have to be able to hit an enemy from 360 degrees, like at least 4 different directions, up, down, left, right. You have to be able to attack from the top, to be able to swipe up from the bottom, swipe to the left, swipe to the right. You have to be able to do this in order for the game to make sense, because it's all built around that. Not to mention all the puzzles that involve the motion controls and whatnot, so how would you even do that? You could just pull it all out and gut the soul of the game? Like, what would even be the game? I don't even understand. I suppose that there's a way you could do it by mapping the sword swipe up, sword swipe down, sword swipe left, sword swipe right to different buttons, but what are these buttons on these controllers that could do that? I just don't see how that's possible. It would make it more cumbersome, I feel, than just playing the game the way it was originally meant to be played. Then somebody else commented, and this was all on Go Nintendo's post of this particular news item. Somebody was like, well, that wouldn't work because we know that the Switch's motion controls are worse than the Wii's. Huh? Did I miss a memo somewhere? Did Nintendo regress in their motion control, I doubt that's true. Maybe there's some well-known thing that has happened with a motion-controlled Switch game that I'm just not familiar with, but if anything, it should be more advanced, not less advanced. So am I missing something here? Or is this commenter just not that intelligent? In any case, I have to go on record as saying I would love for a Skyward Sword HD. Skyward Sword as it is fine. I replayed it not too terribly long ago, right before Breath of the... well, I guess it was kind of long ago, but right before Breath of the Wild came out, I replayed Skyward Sword. I had a great time, but the whole time I kept looking at it thinking, I wish this was in HD. I mean, just some of the graphics are fine, but just imagine they could have really done well with that whole, this is supposed to look like an impressionist painting concept if they could have done it in HD. Also, I was watching the Game Grumps were playing Skyward Sword for a while there, and I was watching them play it, and during that watching I was like, this game could really do with an HD remake. So in any case, I hope it's gonna happen. It sounds like it is. I'm surprised. I'm very surprised that it is, because Skyward Sword was not as well received as Nintendo might have hoped, so I don't know. But a quick anecdote that has nothing to do with this whatsoever is, it just came to mind talking about watching Game Grumps play it. I had alluded to the fact that I was going to put out this very different style video, and I recorded it, and I completely scrapped it. And basically what it was is it was related to Game Grumps. It's because as they were playing Skyward Sword, every single episode, basically, they'd say at least one, if not like upwards of 5, completely inaccurate things about either Skyward Sword or Nintendo or Zelda in general. And I thought, what I'm gonna do is write down the timestamp of all of these things, and then I will have a video where I play them saying this horribly inaccurate thing, and then I will come on screen and I will explain how they're wrong, why they're wrong, and after recording my responses to all of that and then thinking, oh great, now I'm gonna have to go back through all of their videos and pluck out them saying these things, it just sounded like too much work, and the audience for that would be relatively small. Let's be real here. I don't have a terribly huge amount of viewers, and those amount of viewers that I do have that also happen to watch Game Grumps would care about that type of video. So anyways, I'm babbling. I'm not going to put that video out. So I still have it saved somewhere, so maybe if people are like, yes, you must put that video out, then maybe I'll go ahead and do it. But in any case, it's called Game Grumps Are Wrong About Skyward Sword. I also, hilariously enough, was going to make a very similar video called Game Grumps is Wrong About Health and Nutrition and Fitness, because, oh boy, they say a lot of crazy things that have no basis in scientific fact. But in any case, I digress. That's it for this episode. Have no idea when the next video I'll record is, unless, of course, at like the Game Awards, which is coming up pretty frickin' soon. If they do announce something Zelda-related, in fact, Skyward Sword HD, for goodness sake, I'll go ahead and probably make a video about that, but if not, probably not. See you guys the next time there's something really cool about Zelda to talk about. Bye!